Hello there, everyone. Happy Monday, or whatever time of the day it is for you, wherever you are tuning in from. My name is Heather, and we're going to talk about some motivation, like it says in the banner up above. Let me just get this thing running across here. There we go. It says Monday motivation. So there we go. I'll just get this over here so I can see if you have any comments. They'll come up on the side of my screen, and then I can see that you're talking with me, and we can have a little chat. Um, Please allow StreamYard up in the description up above access to see your profile picture, and then when you pop up on the side of the screen, I can have a conversation with you. If you're coming in after the fact, please let me know if you are on the replay, and type in replay, and then I can give you a shout out after the pardon me, after the fact. It's Monday and I am on my lunch break, so make this semi-brief. Hopefully that you will find some value from it, and I'm going to talk to you about when you're feeling stuck. I read a book here, or actually listened to an audiobook. I don't know if many of you use the app Audible, but I don't really have too much spare time to sit down and read a book, so I usually listen to Audible while I'm doing my hair or getting dressed, or things of that nature, driving from point A to point B. Then I can get some education and learning and personal growth and expanding my brain, and having all kinds of, what's going on there with the background, having all kinds of cool things run through my brain, and hopefully prevent me from getting Alzheimer's early. So if we have not met before, my name is Heather, as it says over there, Heather Edmondson, and I am coming at you live here at lunchtime from Medicine Hat, Alberta, Canada. Hello, Janet. Thank you for coming on and saying hello to me today. And yeah, you love Audible. That's nice. Yeah, we can all benefit from listening to as many books as we can to expand our brain. So like I said, I'm popping in here on my lunch break, and I'm going to talk to you today about getting unstuck. Why is it that we if I look down every once in a while, I've got a few notes to keep me on task here, so hopefully I don't run off on the sideline there and get sidetracked. Why do we let people get into our head? Why do we let them let their beliefs and reality run around in our head? And the more we think about it, the more it will become a reality, because we let it exist inside our head. We have to learn how to get that out of our head, and we need to some people, if they put less effort into work, then they won't believe it'll work. Like, for example, if you're already saying to yourself, well, I could never do that, I could never jump on here and go live. Hello, Beth. Thank you for popping in here. There she is. There's Beth, popping in here on my live today. Where was I? When you believe that you can't do something because you've never tried it before, then you're not ever going to be able to do it. So we beat ourselves up before we even get to try and do an effort there. Try something that we've never done before. Like I said, going live here, and there's tons and tons of people that would never in their lifetime ever dream of going on live, clicking the go live button and actually taking part and speaking in front of people. Me getting up on stage in front of people, I have a horrible time with that, but speaking to you through the computer here is much, much easier, because I'm just looking at my computer screen. I don't actually see you guys. I mean, I see you guys pop up on the side, but it's not the same as actually being right in front of each other. So it's not as hard as it looks. You have to try it, though, to get over your nerves and stuff. If you believe in things, then you most likely will be able to accomplish them, and great things will come to you. But you have to be energetic and enthusiastic about it, and alive with it, and then the benefit will pay off. But it's only one part of it. You can still accomplish great things without that belief. It just takes longer, and it's a bit rougher of a ride. If you don't have those beliefs in yourself, and you don't work towards those goals as easily, because you don't have that positivity in your mind, it'll just take you longer. I'm getting a bunch of this information from the book called Unf Yourself. I know it's a little rude of a title, but it's by Gary John Bishop, and it's it talks about getting out of your head and into your life is what the actual title is. And he's given me a bunch of these little answers and stuff to discuss with you guys. So he talks about Marcus Aurelius, who was a philosopher and actually became a Roman emperor. And his rule was when things tempt us to make us feel bitter, we're not supposed to view it as misfortune. We are supposed to view it as a worthy of fortune. So yeah, that's a quote from Marcus Aurelius, which was meaning in our terms nowadays, meaning we do have a choice. We don't have a choice what happens to us, but we do have a choice of how we react to things. So what's an example of that? You can look at it as a nuisance or as a stepping stone, or you can look at it as something holding you back or letting you grow, or something holding you down or something lifting you up. So it all depends on our perception of things that are happening to us in our lives. We have to talk to ourselves and say that outside events have no power over us at all. We have to reaffirm that in our brain, whether we use it as a mantra while we're brushing our teeth or just before we go to bed. We have to believe we have bigger and greater things for us than just existing on this planet. We're out there to serve people and to help people and push people in the right direction. We can let a problem dwell in our minds, kind of like what I was talking at the beginning there. We can let that thought or that feeling fester in our head and grow into a bigger problem, or create a lot more chaos in our lives if we let it. If we let that thing sit there, like granted, we all have things that we're dealing with, especially times like now. People are stressed out about all kinds of things, but if we let that sit there and fester, it's just going to turn into a greater, bigger problem unless we move forward and try and deal with it. Where am I here? We can reject a sense of injury, or the injury itself will disappear. So we can either, like I said, let that thing exist inside of us, or we can move forward and forget about it. Like, I get that we should maybe spend 24 hours feeling sorry for ourselves for whatever has happened, or feeling upset about a certain situation. But after that 24 hours, if you let it continue on in your brain and in your thoughts and taking up that valuable space in your head, it's robbing your time from you. It's taking all those precious moments of joy that you could have. It's a time robber if you're worrying about stuff like that. We need to get that garbage out of your head. Move past it. Find a way that is going to spur you on so that you can move past it. How many of us in our lives are there because we think that a certain situation or circumstance has brought us down this path? But really, it's our perception of things that have maybe happened to us, and the self-talk that we have done to ourselves, saying, well, this happened to me because blah blah blah, and I'm not a good person and I deserve it. It's kind of like when you'd see things on TV. I mean, I've not gone to court myself, but you'd see in courthouses where they say, well, the girl was out on the street and she was dressed like she wanted to get raped or that kind of thing, because she believed in her head that she deserved to be treated like that. And actually, she didn't deserve to be treated like that. That's just what she kept saying to herself in her mind, that, well, this happened to me because I asked it to happen to me. Hello, Cindy. Thank you for jumping in. Like I said, yeah, we need to get out of that headspace and not let things like that drag us down, or let people say that we are deserved of that specific. I don't know if that's an actual word, deserved, but we'll go with it anyway. That they deserved to have whatever that was that happened to them because of the way they dressed or the way they talked or the way they acted. That's not necessarily the truth, but because that person played that over and over in her mind, she actually did believe that things happened to her because of the way she acted or the way she dressed. If you let your circumstances repeat, then you're just going to keep going in that same loop over and over and over again. You're going to have the same situation over and over again. If you don't break that chain of events, you're going to repeat them. So if you haven't learned from, I won't call it a mistake, a learning experience, if you haven't learned from that situation that happened, you will be deemed to be repeated. So like I said, going round and round in the same loop of disappointment and despair. What if the goal you're working towards doesn't happen? What if you've said in your mind, well, I need this and this and this to happen before I can get to XYZ? Well, what if that doesn't happen in a shorter space of time? What if it takes a lifetime for you to reach to that goal, that thing that you have in your mind, the thing that you think that's going to save you? What if it doesn't happen, but it does happen way in the future? Then you've lost all that time between where you started and where you wanted to finish, and you didn't take the value in that. You didn't take time to stop and celebrate all the little things that did happen along the way that got you from point A to point B. You need to be looking at the answers. If you think that somebody's going to come and save you and solve all your solutions and solve all your situations that you're in, you're looking in the wrong place. You're barking up the wrong tree there, the girl. You know that's the person that is going to save you from all these things happening is you. You need to look at that person in the mirror. That person in the mirror is you, and you're the one that's going to save you from the situation. Like it's like when you're trying to get somebody that you know is in a bad situation, or maybe they're an alcoholic or a drug abuser or something like that. You can see what it's doing to them. You can see how it's harming them and how it's not a healthy choice for them to take in their life. But until that person makes that decision to make a change in their life for the better, for what you believe is the better, they're not going to do it because they're not counting on themselves to do it. You can't change it. You can't be their Prince Charming and ride in there on a big white steed and save them from all that stuff, because until they have that mindset that they are going to make a change, whether it's to stop eating sugar, whether it's to stop smoking, whether it's to, like I said, give up alcohol and drugs and that kind of thing, they're not going to make that change. They're not going to stick with it. So we need to count on ourselves. We need to look at ourselves in the mirror and say, you're the one that's going to save me. You don't have to wait on the Calvary to ride in and save you. Like I said, that knight in shining armor on that big white steed to come and save you. It's you, and you are the facilitator to make the situation change. You are the key in the situation, and you have to decide what to do or not to do next. But you are putting everything on your life on hold, waiting for that, like I said, that whatever your goal is, waiting for all the stars to align so that you can be able to go to the next step. If you're waiting for all of that to happen, it's not going to happen, and you're missing out all of that time in between. You're missing the small things. Have you ever heard the song "Cats in the Cradle" by Harry Chapin from 1974, where he goes on about his little boy was born, and he's going to work, and then his little boy wants him to play ball with him when he comes home, and he says, "No, honey, I gotta go to work." And then it goes on and on. He comes home from working, and the son wants to borrow the car keys, and the dad says, "Well, yeah, you can have them, but you have to be back by whatever." And it goes on and on, and the long story short here is that by the time the dad actually has time for the son has moved on, and he's married and has his own kids, and he's busy with his own life. And his father's missed out on all of those special moments that he could have spent with his child, growing a relationship and enjoying all those moments, because he kept saying, "Oh, when the time's right, I'll be able to throw the ball. When the time's right, I'll be able to teach how to drive. When the time's right, I'll get you here and there." And when the time's right for him, then his son has kids, and his son is busy with his own family. So I just thought I'd throw that in there to maybe put it into perspective for yes, Beth. Yes, we do all need to be responsible for ourselves. Thank you very much for saying that. We need to retrain our brain. Our brain is constantly arranging and rearranging the neural pathways in our brain. This is getting into some heavy duty science here. This is actually some actual neuroscience. And we can control how we act and how we behave if we retrain our brain to create these new pathways. It's like you can create a new habit by persistence and doing it over and over and over. But you can also create a bad habit by doing the same things. So we have to shift our brain and make it think to create a new neural pathway so that it's a good behavior and not a bad behavior. It's getting you away from that bad situation or that bad thought, creating those new brain wavelengths to actually move your thoughts in a good pattern. Our thoughts can actually change through this, and it's called neuroplasticity, which is a science, an actual study of the brain waves and how your brain works. So I thought that was kind of cool. We can actually change the way we think by conscious, decisive self-talk. It'll cut through and it'll take control of our life. It's like I said, like building a new habit. If you keep saying to yourself, I am worthy of XYZ, I'm a good person, I am a kind person, I am a thoughtful person, I'm worth it. I don't need to be walked on by everybody. Why do I let people walk all over me? You need to change that thought and say, I deserve to be treated with respect. I deserve to be seen as a person. Say the things over and over to yourself in your mind, and you will create those thoughts that will help move you into being a more confident, self-confident person. It will shape you. It will steer your mind to create happier thoughts. Like I said, shape them to be conscious and diligent. And we have to be aware of the words that we use when we do talk to ourselves. Are you beating yourself up? Like I said at the earlier there about the girl that was out and she was dressed, in a maybe what some people might consider inappropriately, and that she ended up getting raped, and everybody said, well, it's because she deserved it because the way she was dressed and the way she was acting, and if she wouldn't have been out at that hour of night, that wouldn't have happened to her. So that person kept saying to herself, well, I deserve this. I acted like that. I deserve this to happen. But she needed to shift her mindset and say, no, I'm a person. I didn't ask for that to happen to me. And why did that happen? Like, she needed to flip it around and look at it from a whole different perspective. Another example is my mom. We tried to do a virtual meal with her. And she doesn't have a computer, her friend does. So I said, well, just go down to your friend's house or down to your friend's condo, and they play cards and stuff together. So they're kind of like, they can social distance and still be around the computer. And I said, and we'll have a virtual meal with you. And she goes, well, I wouldn't like that. Well, why wouldn't you like that, Mom? Because I just wouldn't like that. And it's because she had it in her mind that she wouldn't like it. I said, how do you know you wouldn't like it when you haven't even tried it? Then you can at least see our faces. She goes, well, you don't need to see my face. I'm old and I'm all wrinkly and whatever. But I'm like, well, then you could at least socialize with us and actually have some support with us. But she had it in her mind that nope, she wasn't going to like it. So it's like trying anything for the first time. If you don't ever get out of that comfort zone and try things for the first time, you're never going to grow. So you got to get comfortable, I guess, with being uncomfortable. Create the reality that you want to live in, and that's by doing that self-talk. If there's something that really makes you uncomfortable and you think, gosh, I'm never going to be able to do it, I'm way too nervous, maybe change your way of thinking as it being an opportunity for you to learn a new skill. Like I was saying to my mom, she would have learned that she could have been able to see her great grandbabies around the meal table, or her great grandbabies playing on the floor, or whatever, if she would just embrace a little bit of this computer technology. But she's absolutely terrified of the computer, and she won't go anywhere near it and try to embrace anything like this, even though her friend, who's 4 or 5 years older than her, in her 90s, does it all. But my mom's only in her 80s, and she's not going to embrace learning a new skill not even to reach out so that we could see her. So I want to finish off here today with do something every day that scares you, and please learn and grow from it. And I wish you all the best today for the rest of the day, whatever time of the day it is for you. I'm going to run back to work and help some more people today. If you're coming on, like I said, on the replay, please let me know, and I will give you a shout out after the facts. Thank you, Cindy, Beth, and Janet, for popping in here, and pass this along to whoever you think might be able to benefit from that. I'd appreciate it. And we will chat with some of you guys a little bit later tonight, and the rest of you, maybe see you on, maybe I might pop on here tomorrow, but Wednesday for sure. Wednesday and for Thursday for sure. Okay, bye-bye for now. Bye-bye, guys.